Hey folks, it's Tom, your frugal prepper. I'm out here in the garage. I just thought I'm just going to talk about some stuff. Maybe some people want to just think about some things I'm thinking about. So yeah, I still smoke, and I need to quit smoking. But I decided that sugar was going to kill me sooner. So I'm doing my keto diet. I'm still losing weight. I'm still feeling great. My blood pressure is normal. My blood sugars are that of a non-diabetic. And I, you know, man, there's so many people out there that just are so like anti-keto, or they think, oh, plant-based diet. There's no way you got that fat eating plants. Like, well, duh, you know. But a lot of it was plants, because sugar and high fructose corn syrup and all those things come from plants. So everybody's a big diet expert. I am not. I simply believe that things that work are probably true, and things that don't work are not true. And the American Diabetes Association diet and the standard treatment does not work, and the ketogenic diet does work. You know, I know my body, and I know how great I feel and how much energy I have. I know that my joints don't hurt anymore. I know that I feel wonderful. I know that I can fit in some roller coasters I couldn't fit in before, and I have a blast. You know, I've been riding the racer at Kings Island. We're going to go back during Haunt Fest, and I should be able to fit in the Beast this time around. It's going to be tight, but I think I can do it. And I'm just going to have a blast. I'm going to have fun. Things I haven't been able to do for many, many years, I get to do them now. Man, I scraped the crap out of my knee last time, or a couple times ago at Kings Island. I decided to climb up on a retaining wall and chase after my son, ignoring the no climb on wall sign, and I fell off, and I just scraped the crap out of my knee. I had shorts on, so that's still healing up. But yeah, the Honda, that thing's finally out of here. I had to finish it up in the rain this weekend. Man, it sucked. I was just covered, like everything on that thing had like 3/4 of an inch of grease on it. Man, it was just covered from head to toe. Even after I took a shower and was all done with it, I was like, oh, there's something in my hair, and I rub it, and I'm like, oh, my whole hand's covered in grease. So I had to go back in and like scrub my hair down again. It was so horrible. It was there was that remnants of the tropical storm coming through. It was blowing, it was raining, it was cold. I had a little pop-up tent, but that was a limited effectiveness for sideways rain, you know. But that thing, man, we finally found a relative that had a key for it, because I found out that I can't program a key. I can program a remote, but not a key. It's got to go to somebody with the appropriate scan tool, or the dealer, or a locksmith that can program that key. We called a couple locksmiths. They're like, we can do newer Hondas, but we can't do an O2. Sorry. So it was going to have to go to the dealer. Then we found a relative that had a key. I drove out of town to go get it. It wasn't that far, and I just wanted to get that key so I could get that thing out of my driveway. I could tell you that I really wanted to get the van going for my friend to have a ride, and I guess I did, but mostly I just wanted that giant white turd out of my driveway. So I got it started. I'm like, it starts and it runs, but it's not sounding too healthy. It's missing. It's just not good. See, I need to quit smoking. And so I shut it down, and I came out the next day to work on it, and first thing I did was go ahead and check the oil, and there's not a drop on the dipstick. I put 3.5 quarts in that thing to bring it into the normal range. It still wasn't full, but it was in the normal range. So, man. So after that, I started up again. It's knocking. I'm like, oh crap, this thing's got a rod knocking or something, right? It's a pretty loud knock. And I let it run for a couple minutes, and it quieted down. And the knocking went away and never came back. So we're hoping for the best. It started doing the high-low idle thing. I made sure that the coolant was bled, because this is the old throttle body off of it. This idle air control actually has coolant that runs through it, and it needs that to work right. It's what I hear. It still did it. So I just shotgunned the whole throttle body with one from the junkyard. Turned out that one had a bad map sensor, so I took the map sensor back off of this one, put it back on there, Got that running, and it still had a bad dead miss. Did a power balance test by unplugging the coils, and found the miss. It was in the front, thank goodness. So I pulled that coil pack off. I cleaned that plug. It was pretty fouled out. I put the plug back in. I got some extra coil packs from the junkyard. I threw one of those on. The mist went away. It sounded beautiful. Belt tensioner was bad, so I replaced the belt tensioner. That was a bit of a pain in the butt to get the bolt back in. I was having a hard time with it. I got it. Got the belt routed, and I'm like, it's still not right. And the bracket that holds the alternator at the top that comes off of the head had broken in half. I'm like, crap, I can't get back to the junkyard at night, you know. And I decided to use my limited welding skills in my stick welder. And I managed to make that thing stick together. And it was pretty darn strong afterwards. And we put it back on there. and it worked. So yeah, I got that thing out. I had to fix some taillight bulbs and different things on it, so they wouldn't get pulled over. And they rolled it out of here. It still needs a power steering pump. It still needs a motor mount, but it's rolling. And it's just noisy when you turn the wheels. And it's not just pump cavitation or the O-ring. It's really noisy. It's bad. It's got a bad bearing. So that's done. Did some brakes on a van. I got a Ford Expedition coming. You know, I've been fighting with auto parts stores, something fierce lately. It's just crazy. You know, I got a whole big giant drawer full of receipts. Like, I spend, you know, probably with all the cars that I buy parts for and then people pay me back for the parts, it's tens of thousands of dollars a year that I spend at Advance and AutoZone. And sometimes O'Reilly's. They're usually my third choice. And, you know, I go in, I'm like, I want to buy a 10-pack of bulbs. I think they were 4473s or something like that for a Honda 7443. I don't know. But anyway, I looked it up, and I was like, I want a 10-pack of these. And they're like, well, do you have a commercial account? I'm like, no, but I'd like to buy the 10-pack, please. I normally buy the 10-pack, and then I have them on hand next time I need them. And they're like, well, we usually only sell those to commercial customers. And I'm like, you know how much money I spend in here? I'm in here 4, 5, 6 times a week buying parts. Not to mention the amount of customers I send over here to buy their own parts. Because I look up the part number and everything for them and send them over here. I'm like, you need to just sell me that 10-pack of bulbs. And so I'm like, you know, can I talk to the manager? You know, and they did sell me the 10-pack of bulbs finally. I get them home, I open it up, and there's 2 bulbs missing out of it. It's only got 8. So I was back up there buying a brake hose for something else, and I'm like, look, you shorted me 2 bulbs. So you need to credit me back on that, or you need to give me 2 bulbs. And so they handed me another 2-pack off the shelf and gave me those. I'm like, you know, they acted like they didn't want to believe me at first. I'm like, look, you know, it's not that big of a deal. You know, I'm not going to come in here and lie over 2 light bulbs, you know, when I'm a regular customer. You guys should know me. But yeah, parts stores, it's a nightmare. I try to do online ordering anytime I can. Use my discount coupon with Advance. You get the 20 or the 25% off. Order it online. Look it up myself. Know that I'm getting what I want. Because these people behind the counter don't know anything sometimes. I mean, it's really bad. Some of them do. There's a few good ones. But most of them are just clueless. They know how to type it in a computer and search for it, and they don't know what it is you're even asking for or why. It's kind of crazy. So I usually try to do that, but you know, even then you show up, there's one guy standing at a keyboard typing, the phone's ringing off the hook, and there's 6 people in front of you, and there's 2 other guys out in the parking lot scanning somebody's car for free, and there's another guy changing a battery. And I'm standing there with money in my hand, you know, or standing there waiting to pick up stuff I've already bought. It's just ridiculous. What these parts stores have to do, is have a central call center that you call into when you want a price on a part. You call the local number, it gets redirected with voice over IP to a call center, and somebody answers the phone and they have access to that store's inventory to say, yeah, we got the part, it costs this much, right? This, having people trying to answer that phone to get people prices on something when I'm standing there with money in my hand needing to buy a part so that I can get back to my house and get a job finished and get paid for it, is just ridiculous, man. It's insane. And, you know, I'm not a commercial account, so they won't bring in the parts to me. I have to drive up and get them. And my local AutoZone is worthless. They should just close that store down so I don't accidentally stop there anymore. Because every single time I need any kind of part, it's like, well, we don't have it in stock at this store, but if you want to drive all the way across town, we have it. I'm like, crap, I got to drive to Advance again. You know, it's nice because it's just a couple hundred feet down the road, but they don't have anything. Like, why do you even have an auto parts store if you don't have anything? If you don't stock a freaking gasket for a Honda 3.5 for the throttle body, if you can't stock that $2 gasket in your store, close the freaking store down. You know, it's ridiculous. I'm not here to buy car polish and oil. I'm here to buy a part to fix a car, you know. Atomic Garage did a video. I thought it was a great video about these automotive shops. It's just complete, you know, it's crap. Or they're too busy talking on their cell phone. I know one day we went in there, we're trying to get a warranty on a battery. They couldn't find him in the computer because he had a different phone number then and they didn't remember it. And they're like, well, what store did you buy it? He's like, I bought it at the other store. They're like, okay, well, they might be able to look it up in their computer by name because we can only do a phone number between stores or something. And we're like, okay. And she's like, we're standing there waiting for like a half an hour. I kid you not, a half an hour while she's talking to other people, joking around, waiting on a couple other customers. And we're thinking she's called the other store. And she's waiting on them to call back or something. And then she looks at us, she's like, you guys can go ahead and call the other store if you want. Did you want to call the other store? And we're like, yeah, we'll call the other store. So we called them. They found them. We went over there. They changed the battery out. And they were real good. It took us 5 minutes. But it's just like, what in the heck ever happened to customer service, you know? The thing that I want when I go to an auto parts store, I want to get waited on. I want them to have my part in stock. I want them to get me the right part. And I want to get the heck out of there. I want to try to make that a 5-minute process. You know, there's times I go in the store just to browse around and look at the tools and stuff. But most of the time I'm in the middle of a job. And I'm like, ah, crap. This gasket didn't come off in one piece like I was hoping it would on this old piece of crap. I'm going to need a new one. I need a $2 gasket so I can get back to my house and finish fixing the piece of crap in the rain. I don't want it to take, you know, a half an hour. It's insane. I wish they get their crap together. I wish that we could get an auto parts store that sold parts. Because these stores now, they sell polishes and fuel injector cleaner. We have a special today on 2 fuel injector cleaners for $10.99. Wouldn't you be interested in that? I'm like, no. I'm here to buy a gasket. Maybe we could get a store that sells parts to people that fix things. And that would be their primary responsibility. I don't know. It is nice that we have stores that are open on the weekends. I remember back in the day, if you need a part on a Saturday, you might get it until noon. And then they were closed. You know, there wasn't any other parts until Monday. It is nice that AutoZone and these other places are open on Saturdays and Sundays. Because that's when you're fixing stuff, or at least I am. So I guess there's good and bad, but you know, it's like I got like a giant drawer full of receipts. Like when they put my phone number in the computer, it pops up like a list of like 160 different vehicles that I bought parts for. That should give them a clue that I haven't actually owned 160 vehicles, right? Like I might be working on them for other people, and I might be like a really good customer, even though I'm not commercial, right? Oh well. Just a kind of a ranting on what's going on video, just kind of update you guys, just getting things organized out here in the garage, and figured I'd do a little video about what's going on and just talk about a little bit of everything. I'll talk to y'all later. This is Tom, your frugal prepper.